The press release does say that Hut 8 is contributing its Bitcoin mining rigs to the new venture. What assets are the Trumps contributing, and is there any cash involved on either side of this deal?
When Eric and I really talked about our ideological philosophy behind Bitcoin and crypto, I asked, what are you doing with American data centers? And he gave me the background, what they're doing, what they had planned. And I said, let's bring these things together. We'll contribute our rigs into the entity in return for an 80% stake. And then we'll go build and scale and build this business together rather than from kind of a startup from a scaled operations already. So that's the plan today. Is American Bitcoin is a scaled mining operations day one, and we're going to go and build the biggest company in the sector.
Eric, I'd love some more specificity on the ownership here, too, because to the point that Asher was making, the 80% goes to their company, 20% to the American data centers. So what percentage stake do Trump family members have of this new company?
Yeah. That'll be disclosed in time, but it's majority stake, and we're very proud of it. I mean, this is an industry that I've come to love. Bitcoin is clearly digital gold. It's clearly the currency of the future. It's being embraced all over the world, and it's exciting to do this here in America. And when you look at Hut 8, when you look at their data centers, when you look at what they've done, what they've built, their capabilities, it made a whole lot of sense to do this with them. They're pragmatic. They're great guys. They're fast. They're able to deliver. They've done a great job, and then you take it, and you combine that with an asset that's appreciating 60% year over year over the last 10 years. You take a company that's able to literally mine Bitcoin for almost 50% of what it's trading for literally right now, and they're able to bring up the scale based on the pipeline that they have. It's a dynamite combination, and I think we're going to take the industry by storm. I've never been more excited about a project, and we're going to do incredible things together.
Now, according to reports, there is a plan to see this company go public, American Bitcoin. Asher, given that you own 80%, what is the plan? What is the roadmap to seeing that happen?
The vision here is to give shareholders a pure play mining company that has the ability to produce Bitcoin cheaper than just buying it. And so continuing to build the strategic reserve and be one of the largest Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin holders out there. For Hut 8, this made sense because we have investors that are investing into the infrastructure side of the business, into the AI side of the business, and into the Bitcoin side of the business. Now, investors can invest directly into the Bitcoin exposure, meanwhile investing into the energy exposure on the Hut 8 side for energy and infrastructure. So you can see this long-term as two sister publicly traded companies, one that's energy, infrastructure, data centers, and then the other one that's Bitcoin, ASICs in the reserve, and together they form a vertically integrated company that has some of the best economics out there and is going to be a leader because they're able to synergize together to scale for their individual shareholders.
Eric, World Liberty is launching a stablecoin. You're now working in mining. Your father has made stablecoin legislation a priority and also has actively courted miners and benefits financially from crypto in multiple ways. How are you, World Liberty, and the White House managing perceived conflicts of interest?
Well, there are no conflicts because I don't work with the White House. I've been in private industry my entire life, and we started World Liberty long before my father ever got elected to the White House, right? I mean, this is something we believed in crypto for a very long time. We believed in DeFi. As I said, before we got cut off, before our audio got cut off, I mean, we saw the worst of the banking institutions, the financial institutions, as they tried to cancel and not only myself, my family, our companies in every way, shape, and form. And unfortunately, people around the world are seeing that every single day. And when you look at DeFi and the power of that, I mean, it's really restoring the power back to the people. There's nothing that DeFi, there's nothing that cryptocurrency on blockchain can't do better, cheaper, in every way faster, more transparently than the financial system that we have right now. Guys, as I sit here in our organization, I mean, there's not a Friday that goes by where I'm not chasing a swift wire transfer, hoping it comes in on, before the 4 p.m. deadline, or trying to send one out. You can transfer millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin overseas, while having a glass of wine with your wife at 11 o'clock at night. That's a beautiful thing. Our financial system in this country is antiquated. Our financial system in this country has been punitive to so many different people. And so we're reinventing the financial system, and American Bitcoin is a big part of that. Hut 8, using their power and their data centers, is a big part of that. And obviously, World Liberty in terms of stablecoin, which by the way is going to bring tremendous wealth into the United States. as well as DeFi is a large part of that. I'm all in personally. I really, truly believe in this with every part of my heart and soul.
Eric, it's pretty clear your interest in crypto, but so is the interest from the president as well. What communication is there between you and the president about crypto, given the administration's focus on making it more accessible? Should there be a firewall if there isn't already?
Yeah, virtually none. I can tell you my father has always been a big part of cryptocurrency. He's frankly one of the things that got him elected. He is out there and he became kind of champion of an industry with the most unusual people. And when I say that, with people who traditionally maybe weren't Republicans, people who might not have been hard asset people like my father was his entire adult life, but he fell in love with an industry because the regulators were going after that industry. They were going after the Ashers of the world the exact same way as they were going after our family. They were throwing lawsuit after lawsuit on them for no reason whatsoever. They were canceling them. They were debanking them. Coincidentally, because of politics, they happened to be doing the very same thing to our family. And so it brought maybe two unusual groups together, our family and this movement, as well as the crypto industry. And there's no doubt, and there's no shadow of a doubt that the crypto industry, the Bitcoin industry, him showing up at every single crypto conference and speaking at it, being the first presidential candidate to do so, really opened his eyes to a lot of the industry, but also brought this massive continuity between the crypto industry and our family. And it's a beautiful thing. And, this started long before, obviously, he won the election. But my father's a massive believer in cryptocurrencies, as am I. And really our political experience is what brought us to the table in this amazing new kind of financial frontier.
Eric, I hear what you're saying when you say there are no conflicts of interest and you're not communicating with your dad about crypto. But still, I would think that there are critics out there who see that the actions taken by the White House and your family maybe are not necessarily actually for the crypto industry, and instead they're enriching your family, rather than making the industry better. What would you say to those people?
Well, we must have had hell of an intuition if we popped up a company a year before he was ever even elected, president, thinking that could somehow enrich us. I mean, by that same standard, lower energy prices enriches us because we use gasoline in our lawnmowers at our golf courses, right? I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous notion. The entire world is going toward the crypto industry. There's no question about it. The financial system is antiquated. The financial system in this country is no longer 9 to 5. It's just the reality, guys. The financial system is going to start operating on a 24-hour, 7-day a week.
I'd only push back and say, somebody could argue, well, he's launching meme coins that critics would say don't necessarily have any value inherently. That could be an example of that.
I don't know. The meme coin did awfully well. It went to, I think, a $35 billion market cap overnight, right? And I think that was the crypto industry coming in saying, we love the Trump family. We love Donald Trump. This is the guy that stood behind us. This is the guy that believed in us when Gensler was going after all of us, when they were stripping bank accounts from us left and right, when they were, not giving us the rules of the road, but then trying to imprison, so many good people in the industry who just believed in a higher form of technology and a more efficient form of technology. Guys, crypto's here to stay. And America either leads the way in this revolution or they get left behind. I can tell you, from real estate and what I do, and I've been on these shows a million times, I'm all over the world, and everywhere I go, every country, every person, every big corporation is pushing cryptocurrencies.
Eric.
They believe in it, they want it, and America either leads the way or they get left behind.
One more question about World Liberty in particular. Between the meme coins and how much money was raised, and World Liberty raising $550 million from governance tokens, what's the money being used for? What are the use of proceeds?
Well, they use it in case of World Liberty. So many of those proceeds are actually getting, put into the treasury and further reinvested into crypto, which is a lot of fun. And, we publicize our wallets every single day. You can go on right now and see exactly what the holdings of World Liberty is. And, American Bitcoin is going to have that same transparency. So you see exactly what we have. You'll see what we have in the treasury. We believe in cryptocurrencies. We reinvest in cryptocurrencies. And again, I think that's really reassuring for the industry that you're not just going in there and pulling the money out. You're keeping the money exactly in the very kind of vehicle that you believe it should be utilized in.
Ash, I want to bring you.
The vision of the business is very clear. It's American Bitcoin. We want to build in America. We believe if you think about the beauty of bringing energy, bringing the gas that creates the electrons into the data center infrastructure, into ASICs to derive compute that securitizes the Bitcoin network, We're bringing together crypto and what makes America great, which is the infrastructure we own, the energy policies that we have. And so I think the commentary and the conversation I've been having is there should be no secret in terms of the administration and their stances on crypto. I mean, people who voted last year, they knew exactly the crypto president they were getting. And so anyone can buy Bitcoin, anyone can have that exposure. And I think today, as we launch American Bitcoin and as we go and talk about the business, it's very clear. We believe in Bitcoin. We believe in America. We believe in the energy infrastructure that lies here, and we want to build a company that's leading within that sector and that brings all those things together that we're super passionate about.
I think this is an important question in the vein of what this means for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Initially, the idea here was forfeited Bitcoin, seized Bitcoin, but the creation of this venture, what does it mean for the ability to mine Bitcoin for the creation of a reserve?
Look, I think if we talk about a reserve for American Bitcoin, we're all in, right? Hut 8 was one of the first publicly traded companies that held Bitcoin on the balance sheet. American Bitcoin will mine Bitcoin. It will hold the Bitcoin. It will create the exposure. I think whatever the federal, state governments, there's a lot of state governments that are bringing on strategic reserves as well. I love the idea of this adoption, and we'll lead by example as we have historically. And with American Bitcoin, we will mine Bitcoin for cheaper than it costs. We will hold Bitcoin, and we will be long-term bettors of the asset.